You see, I'm willing to have the globalists come kill me. I'm willing to have them set me up, to be able to tell the truth. But I also understand this code. I don't mess with people's families. I don't want my families messed with. But remember Barbara Bush on Larry King Live, he said, what do you think of the daughters? What do you think of them being in the news? And she said, if you talk about my family or mess with my family, I will kill you. And Larry King said, you're joking. And she got all weird-faced and went completely insane. She said, no, we will kill you. See, they're so corrupt, they're so evil, they can talk about how they'll kill people on television and how they'll kill anybody that messes with their family. Now, they may not set you up or may not whack you, Greg, because you did confront one of the men. But you did shake him up a little bit. You've had the Secret Service visit you repeatedly now. And coming up in the next segment, I'm going to play. This is all up on your YouTube channel. You recorded them at the door. You told them you were recording them when they called you on the phone. So good that you did that. So it's on record and legal to do. But Greg, I tell you, again, I've got you here to put spotlight on you so that hopefully you don't have an accident. You might want to tell folks you're not planning on committing suicide, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, Greg, tell the story of what happened.
Basically, I'd gone to lunch last Wednesday with two of my friends, and, people have seen in the video the first couple of items on the menu are the President and Barbara Bush pizzas. So that's a little sickening to see. And then the whole shrine on the back wall, as is in so many restaurants around Houston when the Bushes frequent a place. So at the end of my meal, I guess halfway through the meal, the Secret Service agent, one of them, came into the establishment and was scoping it out. It was very obvious what was going on. I told my friends that, hey, obviously, Poppy Bush is going to be coming in here in a moment. Sure enough, several minutes later, the rest of them pull up. We were pretty much done eating. I walk out to my car to get my camera. I come back in, and actually, I was right next to him at one point. I had to stand directly behind him as he was in the doorway, because I guess probably shaking somebody's hand there and whatnot. And I actually waited for him to get a good ways away from me in the restaurant. It was him alone. Barbara wasn't there. There were no females. There were no children in the place. It was rather empty at that point. It was a late lunch. And when he got a good distance away, I started recording, and that's when you hear the profanities that just came out. It wasn't planned like that by any means. And the entire time I was doing that, I was making my way towards the door. So I waited for him to get away. I worked, my way towards the door, all the way out the door.
But you also forcefully did say he was a mass murderer for Iraq and other wars.
Yeah, I called him a Zionist, murderous, and then the expletives.
Why Zionist? I know Israel supported those wars, but if you really study the Bushes at Skull and Bones and his father Prescott, they're also Nazis. But I guess he does support Israel, so he is a Zionist. Well,
I wish I could articulate it a little bit better. I'm recently learning a lot more about this. I woke up to 9/11 at the end of 2005, and at this point in my research and from what I see through all these facts, it seems to me that it is the Israel Mossad and these Zionists that are pretty much behind every single event. It was through the Rothschilds that started World War I, World War II, the wars going on now. They made Switzerland a neutral place so that they could fund it from both sides. The list goes on. They're the ones behind the first bank of this nation, the second bank, now the Federal Reserve. I see their hands tied to everything. So I know that you mentioned things like the CFR and Bilderberg, all this, but when I actually look at the top of these things and who's pulling those strings, that I do now see the head of the beast. And I see it as Zionist. So that's why I see that.
Okay, well, now we understand why. Stay there. Let's come back and play some audio. The video's up on your YouTube channels. We've got links to it up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, but it's YouTube.com/user/live music, where you can see all the videos in detail. We're going to come back, play part of the confrontation with the Secret Service when they came to your house, and then we'll get into you not wanting to commit suicide. I think it's important to get that on record. There has been a gigantic development on the naked body scanner front. It's far worse than I even thought. That's coming up in the next segment. Then Tyrell Ventura, son of Jesse Ventura, one of the producers, cameramen, researchers on the TV show. My idea to get him on because he's just a really great guy, very informed. He can give us some inside scoops on whether his dad's going to be running for president in 2012. We'll be discussing that. And then, of course, a member of the Icelandic parliament about the banking takeover there and the people fighting back. This is a precedent-setting case. And then we also have Catherine Austin Fitts on Bankstergate coming up today. So regardless of what you think of Greg, it is his free speech right to yell at the former president. I wouldn't have used profanity, but regardless, I commend his courage. I mean, you can only marvel at it. I mean, Greg, you sound like you're informed on things. I mean, you understood how incredibly dangerous this person is. He's probably the most dangerous person to confront that I could think of.
I do realize that, and I did realize that, but at the moment, that just kind of leaves your head. When you just get that sense, that feeling. Well, when he walks in, it was overwhelming, and that's what came out.
There is a tide in the affairs of men when taken at the flood leads on to fortune. And I guess the fortune you're looking for is liberty and freedom in your time. The Bushes are a very complex family, and the power structure they belong to is very, 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 very complex. But just to be on record here, you're not planning to commit suicide.
I'm not planning to commit suicide. I would not be an activist. I would not do that stuff if I didn't see all of the beauty in life worth being here for. And I don't see how that viewpoint will ever change in my mind.
So you will never commit suicide?
I will never commit suicide. Not a chance. But before I forget, I do want to tell people, if they are in the Houston area, we have HoustonTruth.org. We've got some great activists, and if it weren't for some of the core group of some of the trusted individuals, yesterday would have been a lot tougher to stomach. So thank you.
Well, I got the D.C. madam to say on air that she would never commit suicide. She told her landlord she was being followed, and they certainly killed her. Then they had a government minion come out and say, oh, she told me she was thinking about it. So, even though you're on record saying you won't commit suicide, they'll have somebody pop up if they kill you and say, oh, yes, Greg said he was going to commit suicide. So if anybody says that, they're a liar.
They will definitely be a liar. Not a friend of mine.
Okay. I want to play a clip. Again, the video is up on the web, but here's an audio clip of the Secret Service at your front door. Here it is.
Protection.
Yeah, I apologize, sir, but we won't be able to talk with you if you're going to use the camera. And I understand if you want to use it, but I wouldn't be able to talk with you, sir. And I just needed a few minutes of your time.
You can have my time right now, sir. I'm happy to give it to you.
I just can't do so under those circumstances, sir. I'm sorry for the interruption.
I understand that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And let me let you know, please, because I understand, obviously, what this is about. I am no threat to the man. That's why I walked off, and also appreciate the way... I understand. I also wanted to let you know that I appreciate the way the Secret Service handled it the other day, because I know other police officers might handle it differently. I really do respect that treatment.
That's very
And I do appreciate you coming by, as far as that, but...
Certainly.
Yes, sir.
And if you change your mind and you wish to talk with us... And
do you have a card that you can leave on my door?
But if you'll call the Secret Service, the Houston telephone number, and let us know, we'll meet somewhere and we can talk.
Is there... Do I call? What do I Google? Like, what do I search?
The telephone number to the Secret Service is 713-868-2299.
Okay.
You can just call until you need to speak with someone in protection.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a great day.
That's the good cop one, smiley one. That looked like a really dangerous one, the one that wasn't talking, who popped into view for a minute. Looked very predatory, Greg.
The other one actually had quite a different look on his face when I first opened the door. The camera kind of changed that a little bit.
Yeah, well, one of them was looking at you like he was on a rabbit hunt. And there's also the 9-minute recording you did of them on the phone when they called you, and you let them know you were recording that. All I can say is you're going to see more of this. You're going to see more elitists being confronted by the people. That's why they want this cashless society control grid, this RFID face scanning grid, so that everybody on a list, tens of millions of Americans, the establishment can just pull up a computer screen and see where everybody is in live time, where their last known face scan was made, or where your cell phone being tracked under federal law, everyone's cell phone attached to your Social Security number is. And so that's why they want this whole system, is so they can get away with all their activities. But anything else you'd like to add?
Well, first of all, can I remind people to please, has nothing to do with me trying to get a bigger name for myself, but view this stuff on the live music YouTube channel that you had mentioned, because, like you said, safety in numbers. That's one reason, like you said, it's great to get my message out here on your show with your huge audience. But with all these people ripping off the video, if I hadn't stood up for some of that, who knows? People may not even know who I was if I disappeared. But anyway, no, like I said, HoustonTruth.org if you want to get active in Houston.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you for contacting us last week when this first happened. Sorry we didn't make the connection. We just get bombarded with information. I'll talk to you during the break. We'll come back with the latest naked body scanner news and information right here on GCN Radio Network.